Welcome to part 5 of 8 days with President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf on global duty as head of a sovereign post-crisis independent country. Today, most of the president's activities on this trip will be here at a presidential suite in the Cavalieri Hotel. Liberians living in Rome are here to meet the president and share some of their concerns. This is a common part of the president's activities abroad. Wherever she goes, citizens come to meet her and ask for her intervention in solving some problems. These Liberians are concerned about the issuance of the ECOWAS passport. At the moment, the book is issued only in London for all of Europe. They want that to be changed. They've asked the president to include a Schengen visa country. London does not accept Schengen visa for entry. This lady has one concern. She wants the government to initiate a program through which Liberians living abroad can buy homes. She said they are facing problems in having credible family members to supervise their construction projects back home.
But we want to, if the government can also have an association that they can build and sell through banks, that we can be able to buy through the bank here and there. At least we'll be able to go back home. Because when we send money to family people, it's the kind of problem that we don't even know how to get from other end.
To that point, the Liberian leader indicated that something was in the making.
Something is being done about that. We have 1 or 2 project proposals. We don't want to come out and say too much about it until it happens.
Okay.
But when it happens, you're right, that's a program that's long delayed where Liberians in the diaspora can be able to purchase homes abroad through development of housing estates. So you are mindful of that, and when that information is ready, we'll give it to you.
Decent house, but at least to pay through
and the family eat your money.
For his part, Deputy Foreign Minister Shanahan says the National Housing Authority has already started a program in that direction.
And Madam President, additionally, the National Housing Authority built recently, just a little pilot phase, built 58 houses, and many of those who actually purchased those houses.
The ones in Brooklyn?
Yeah, many of them, about 80% of them are diaspora Liberians who paid for the houses.
So it has started.
Thank God.
And this girl was born here in Italy. She sent us her points on education, calling for free school. She also has interest in managing orphanage home in Boncounty.
Madam President, I was born here. My name is Anna, and I represent the first generation of Liberians born in Italy. My parents were the first Liberian to enter in this country, and I been fighting for long because I really my dream was to go back home, and finally I done it last year. And because as a president of an orphanage home in Monrovia now, my dream is to help the country so that it can develop, and in particular to help the children. But there's some question that I really want to ask, because being there, I found out that there's a problem with the education, like the children that have to pay fees to go to school. So I really want to know if there will be a way to open public school. And another point is like I raised some money, and also I'm working with different foundations, and I would like in Italy, and I would like to transport some materials to build an orphanage home and a school in Boncounty. So if there's a way to at least pay less duties and taxes, I will be happy to help my country.
And President Sirleaf sets the record straight on the question of free school and encourages her to use the mechanism of the Diaspora Office to get her program running.
All right, there are public schools, and right through the 9th grade, public schools are free. You don't have to pay tuition. Straight through, primary to 9th grade. There are private schools that charge. Those are privately owned, privately managed. But the public schools are there. They're not enough. We still need many more teachers. We need books. But there are public schools throughout the country. So when you have your proposal to bring materials home,
yes,
please, again, go through the diaspora office. That's one of the reasons we have that office. So you can channel it through them, and then they will contact the different ministries and agencies to see how they can help you. All right.
And this one will always come a permanent part of the Liberian culture, and the president makes a modest contribution to the Liberian Association in Italy.
We're not in a position to respond to everybody's needs, but we know you have an association, and from place to place we know that you have problems sometimes in your community, so we try to make a small contribution to your association. You know, sometimes people get sick, people pass, and you will have to collect money and stuff, so my assistant will at least make a small contribution of $1,000 for your association. I hope you have an association account.
After the meeting, President SIRLEAF stands for pictures with her citizens. After talking to her citizens, here is a good news for the country. Part of the many dividends of the president's travel abroad, an Italian institution called Istituto Escapi is here to talk to the president on their intent to offer 40 scholarships to Liberian teenagers who will study in Italy. Liberia's ambassador to Italy, Dr. Anthony Mohamed Sharif, gives an overview of the program. Ambassador Sharif also states Liberia's responsibilities in the execution of the scholarship.
We are very glad to present to you the president of the institute that has offered 40 scholarships to the children of Liberia. These are kids who will be involved in agriculture, carpentry, and tourism. So they will finish their course as a high school graduate to complete, and they can be self-sufficient to carry out those activities without even thinking about college. This is a vocational training. Now, if they later on want to get degrees and so forth, they can always get that, but they would have had the potential to be able to be self-sufficient and work. And also create an entrepreneurship for people to work along with them. So we accepted it, and the Minister of Education has been very cooperative, and we finally got the MOU. She has signed the Memorandum of Understanding. She sent it, and we forwarded it to them. And every one of them, ourselves, were very happy because this memorandum is important. In the memorandum, there are issues that were there, which I will briefly mention, and which are not difficult or not something that we cannot perform, for example, like to get visas for the kids who are coming. They said in there that we have to be responsible, of course. If we have to get the kids here, we will write a letter to the Italian embassy and they will issue those visas. Insurance for the children. In Italy, they have social health system. For foreigners who live in Italy, you have a flat rate of the equivalent of $350 per year for those citizens who are not diplomats, but they are living in Italy or for school. They are going to school. You can pay the $350 for each person to insure them for the whole year that you have access to any healthcare services. So $350 in a year, you will save maybe $5 a month. So that was something put in there, and when they put in, they said you will be responsible for the health. You know, it was like it was something big. So we explained that to the minister. Then the other issue was, there was another issue.
The state thing. The state permit.
Yes, the side thing for the person who would accompany them, because the kids are all children. They are living from home. They need someone from Liberia who will be monitoring them, their activities, because they will be mixed with other students. So they need older person who will follow them. If there is anything bothering them, or maybe they're not feeling well or anything, that person they can relate to. And this person has to come from Liberia. So, could be someone that the ministry already has as an employee, or they can choose who they want to send to be with them during the cycle of their studies. That person, they, in their system here, of course, it's considered that they will have to pay a person. That person has to be paid. Government can get that person. Maybe that person could be somebody who already on payroll. So to live here, you can always work on the modality. Then, every year they expect these kids to return home for vacation, to be with their parents. Their concern is that the children, they are all less than 18, so they need to go back to see their parents every year, because this, they may miss their parents. So that one year, they suggested that the ticket, home country should be able to provide a ticket for them. But we told them, we say, yes, that is a good idea. But we can equally, as embassy, find Liberian communities, because these are kids who are maybe 17, 16, 15. Liberian families here who have children.
Let's accept that that's the requirement. So
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. So that's one. And then the other one was another issue.
The state permit, and then
the what?
The funds for the state permit, and also
State permit. I've explained
yes,
that. Yeah.
and also the funds for the extracurricular activities and the organization of the whole program.
Yes, they said that was for 1 year.
Yes.
1 year.
Everything is
1,000.
Yes.
1,000 euro.
1,000
euro. 1,000 euro per year for extracurricular. Has nothing to do with the fees and feeding and all of that. Feeding, everything, they are responsible. But the extracurricular, like for example, to take them on sightseeing, to go places for other extra activities, anything that has to do like outside activities, that 1,000 takes care of that, right?
Yes.
Is it per individual?
It's in an MOU.
Is it per individual?
1,000.
Per
Yes.
individual?
Yes, per year.
Okay, like 40,000 for the 40 of them.
Yes, per year.
Okay, what's the duration of the study?
5 years.
5 years?
Yes, it's for the whole high school period.
Okay, all right. What's the age?
The age is from 16 to 18 to 19.
Okay.
So they do the whole training
Okay.
in the Italian high school.
And they take regular academic courses in addition to the technical?
Yes, no, the high schools are high school. There are technicals in the different areas.
Like the technical high
Yes.
schools? So they do the regular English
Yes,
and maths and whatnot, but
Yes.
then they learn the trade?
Yes, and also they have extra Italian lessons
Okay.
to be able to communicate well with
Something
the
like PWR.
peers.
Yes, yes. So
Is the instruction in Italian, which means they have to spend some time learning the language before they start the training?
Yes.
Yeah.
But like I said before, they will also have an extra, like an adaptation period where they are given extra lessons of Italian. And normally from the experience, we have knowledge that the students learn the language very quickly.
Okay. When does the program start?
The academic school year starts in September every year.
And you're ready for this year to
Yes.
receive them?
Yes. We have been working since August last year.
All right. Okay.
And of course we want to invite you in Calabria to know this region. It's the south of Italy, and where we are working to create this project, new project. And
I will come after the first year when the students have learned Italian. Then I'll come for them to speak to me in Italian and tell me everything they're doing. So let the program start first.
Okay.
molto bene. And
all through the day, many persons come to meet President SIRLEAF. The visitor comes from diverse backgrounds, former diplomats, politicians, investors, and many acquaintances from the president's long years of professional services in international and multinational institutions. This is one of the high-profile visitors. He is Gianfranco Fini, an Italian politician, former Speaker of the Italian Chambers of Deputies, leader of the center-right Featured and Freedom Party, and former leader of the Conservative National Alliance. He served as Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs in the Silvio Berlusconi government from 2001 to 2006.
He's very happy to meet you. And he wants to thank you for this honor to see you.
La prego di portare I miei personali saluti al Presidente del Senato.
He's asking you to please convey his greetings to the President of the Liberian Senate who visited him
Ho avuto il piacere di conoscere personalmente nel 2012.
When he came in 2012, he visited him. Chief of Protocol.
How are you? How are you? Fine, thank you. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you.
Here is another Italian politician, a very strong admirer of our president. Her name is Emma Bonino.
How are you? Wow, that view, huh? Isn't it wonderful?
So,
how are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yes.
She is strong on the list of Italian iron ladies, a strong woman. Until recently in February, she has been Foreign Minister of Italy. She's a leading member of the Italian Radicals, a political party that describes itself as liberal. She's a veteran legislator in Italian politics.
You're surviving? It's worse than mine.
The ambassador, he did that program.
Wow, I used possibly survive.
Here she is marveled over the law in President SIRLEAF's schedules of meetings and engagements on this trip, and she throws light on the global issue of youth unemployment.
Chapeau. How is life?
Tough, but we're making progress. Challenging. Challenging. But we've come a long way.
It's good. Good.
Yeah. And you can see results, growth is back. Still have challenges with young people.
Why particularly with young people? For employment and these kind of things?
Employment. Yeah.
Now that has become a worldwide problem. Even countries that have growth, it's a sort of growth without employment. So we don't have growth, so that's, but our unemployment officially yesterday was declared 13%. Officially, the real growth is higher, 14, 15.
Here she is marveled over the law in President SIRLEAF's schedules of meetings and engagements on this trip, and she throws light on the global issue of youth unemployment.
So that tells you that, like you say, it's a worldwide
No, because even countries that have growth, it's a sort of a growth without employment. Financial growth or whatever, macroeconomic, but so I lasted too shortly.
Every prominent state visitor to Rome is accorded the opportunity to visit tourist attractions. As the hotel meeting subsides, President SIRLEAF is out here to sightsee and is taking on a guided tour of the fountain in the heart of Europe. Hundreds of visitors come here every day to enjoy this marvelous attraction. Here she is marveled over the law in President SIRLEAF's schedules of meetings and engagements on this trip, and she throws light on the global issue of youth unemployment.
Mothers of the universe,
After the visit at the fountain, the next stop is here, one of the city's historic monuments. Upon disembarking from her vehicle, this student was more than happy to see the woman who is an inspiration for women around the world. This is common saying. Everywhere the president goes, somebody will express overjoy and convey kind sentiments.
Nice to see you. Wow! I am fantastic. It's nice to see you in the flesh. Wow! 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 I'm glad I came here today.
And no doubt, this must be a great day for this lady to not only see but embrace our president.
God bless you, my dear sister. Nice to see you. Wow. I'm glad I came.
Liberia. Namibia. Liberia. Okay, thanks.
Non vuole salire su. Dice che i giovani possono salire, vediamo anche il suo.
That was the board Minerva.
Ed è Minerva. Sotto c'è il monumento, c'è il morto che è stato trovato, che è stato preso dopo una selezione di parecchi militari morti nella prima guerra mondiale. E in onore a questo militare, senza piastrella di riconoscimento, per cui è stato preso una donna che il figlio è andato in guerra e ha scelto una bara. Per cui sono granatieri, tutti i tipi di rappresentanza
del war. All the soldiers that died, they were able to find one body, but that body had no chain, no mark, no name. So that was the body that they found, buried that body here.
Per onorare tutti i soldati
all
caduti.
the soldiers that died during the war. Minerva.
La te Minerva, sì, la te Minerva.
Questa è Dio della vita.
È della pace.
For peace.
Per cui è stato onorato, è stato messo.
So that was honored, she was honored, put there for peace.
Poi il soldato ha fatto il giro di tutta l'Italia su un treno.
Then the soldiers went in Italy, every part of Italy.
E poi è stato portato alla stazione Termini.
And they brought that to the station.
Poi la stazione Termini sui cavalli è stato portato qui la bara per.
Then the coffin of that body that was buried here was taken through the whole of Italy in train and went all around and brought it here, honored and then buried it.
Per cui tutti i capi di Stato.
Take away their guns and teach them right from wrong, and that love can conquer all.
It is the evening hours. This is the Terrazza Monte Memorial Hall, an elite ballroom at the Cavalieri Hotel. You remember the president's visit at IFA's headquarters in our second production of this series? Now the president of IFA, Kanayo Mwanzi, is hosting a dinner in honor of Liberian leader President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. This dinner is attended by senior staff of IFA and the 3-room based agencies.
President Johnson Sirleaf needs no introduction. She is the first African female head of state elected as President of Liberia in 2005 and then re-elected in 2011. She's a Nobel laureate, awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2011 for our efforts to promote peace and women's rights. And for those of us that have watched her from both near and afar, and even Forbes magazine, she is one of the world's most powerful women. President Johnson Sirleaf inherited a country that was still scarred by a 14-year conflict. A conflict that had claimed countless lives, destroyed nearly all of the country's infrastructure and institutions. But the turnaround under her leadership has been nothing less than remarkable. In fact, I will say formidable. Liberia is attracting investments from private and foreign investors alike. In fact, the country has attracted over $16 billion in foreign direct investment commitments since 2006. In recent years, Liberia has made its way into lists of the fastest growing economies in the world with average annual growth rates of 7%. So President Johnson Sirleaf, IFAD has had the great honor of re-engaging with Liberia since 2009 and to count itself as one of the country's investors. Our ongoing investment portfolio amounts to approximately $25 million, benefiting 1,500 rural women and men. There's a flu going on at IFAD, so excuse me. In fact, Liberia is not only a borrower from the fund, it is also a contributor to the IFAD replenishment, a testament to the valued relationship between Liberia and IFAD. This is a joint partnership that works to create a climate for investment, but more importantly, it works to create a climate for peace. President Johnson Sirleaf's recognition of the importance of poverty eradication in agriculture as a tool that increases food production and, importantly, empowers women and men has made Liberia one of IFAD's most valued partners. Everyone wants to be part of a success story, and IFAD is no exception. Before giving the floor to President Johnson Sirleaf, I would like also to highlight her leadership in the post-2015 development agenda, both as a member of the UN Secretary General's panel of eminent persons and as chair of the high-level committee on the Common African Position.
And thereafter, President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the guest of honor, responds in these words.
I am here with humility to express thanks on behalf of a grateful people from Liberia for the partnership we have enjoyed over these many years. Liberia has had its shocks, economic shocks, social shocks, political shocks, but we've been able to meet them and are beginning to even overcome them. And the reason for that is that we have had strong friends from all over the world. Those who feel that not only does our country deserve better, but it has the potential to succeed. IFAD has been a partner. In the last couple of years, you've joined our Ministry of Agriculture to respond to a long neglected area of reviving our tree crop sector. And we've seen some of the results. We've seen how it has affected positively so many of our rural farmers who today can hope that they can once again become strong income earners through the empowerment of themselves with just a little support from their friends. We look forward to continuing to work with IFAD in so many ways, not only as a beneficiary, but we hope as a contributor. Contributor in the sense that we can be a good ambassador. We can make sure we meet our quota. And more importantly, we can make sure that the resources that we allocate to us obtain the desired objectives and get the results that have been envisioned. A thank you to all of you who've been a part of this, and to all of you who have been on this long journey with us, a journey that has come a long way, but still has a longer way to go. Thank you for being a part of Liberia's future potential. I think neither of us are good at protocol. But I think we should all just rise and raise our glasses to IFAD and to the partnership with Liberia. Cheers.
Calling all the women, calling every single mother. Oba, woman, let us unite. Mamas, come and say.
After receiving the Order of Merit from the Sovereign Order of Malta in recognition of a commitment to strengthening the bilateral cooperation and friendship between the two countries, President SIRLEAF is here to receive the Dama Castellana Humanitarian Prize.
L'onore che ci ha dato la Presidente di poterlo consegnare.
This is an honor you have given to them, to allow them to present this in person to you.
Per me è un piccolo sogno, l'ambasciatore.
For him, it's a small dream. Piccolo o grande?
No, è un grande sogno che si realizza.
He said, okay, it's a big dream that he has realized today to be before you to present this gift to you.
Perché io conoscevo la Presidente come grande economista. Quindi
He knew you as a big economist.
e sono convinto che assieme a Mandela, a
Like Nelson Mandela,
Thomas Sankara,
Thomas Sankara,
lei rappresenti quanto l'Africa può dare al mondo.
you really represent Africa.
The prize is awarded by Canaglio, a small city in the Veneto region of Italy. It has a population of 36,000 people.
Did you say something?
No, Greg, first of all, let me say, it's I who am honored.
Veramente vi voglio dire questo, che sono io che ho l'onore.
When a group such as yours,
Un gruppo come il vostro,
who really have not been a part of Liberia and its development,
che veramente non siete stati parte, diciamo, della Liberia
in a
durante lo
direct
sviluppo,
way,
in modo diretto,
but to honor me on the basis of what you have read, what you have seen, is a particular honor to me.
veramente per onorarmi, per una cosa che avete letto su di me, è veramente un onore.
And those whom I follow, the ones that you have honored before,
E quelli che io adesso seguo, quelli che avete onorato,
puts me again in a special category.
mi mette ancora in una categoria speciale.
And the fact that you've come all the way here to present it to me,
Il fatto di venire qua in persona per presentare questo a
it
me,
just touches my heart,
ma
and I want
veramente
you to
questo
know.
tocca il mio cuore.
And I want you to know that I take it back not so much for me, but for the Liberian people.
prendo questo non solo per me, ma per il popolo liberiano.
Because for them and what they have been through.
Perché per loro, perché quelli che loro hanno attraversato.
And now they are resilient and they are rebuilding their lives. I accept this honor on their behalf and take it back. And thank
oggi
you.
loro stanno ricostruendo la loro vita. Accetto questo premio a nome di loro. E grazie.
Vorrei che Arturo spiegasse cosa rappresenta questa statuetta, la dama offerente.
She wants him to explain what this thing represents.
I too want to know.
Lei stessa vuole sapere di che cosa si tratta.
La statua rappresenta la dama, simbolo dell'associazione, quindi dell'associazione Dama Castellana.
This lady represents the society in that area there, this organization.
Ma rappresenta la dama nell'atto di offrire agli altri.
But it represents a lady who wants to offer others, who want to be good to others.
E quindi praticamente vuole rappresentare il dare al mondo, il dedicarsi al mondo, come ha fatto la Presidente.
Someone who wants to give to the world, who wants to help others.
Vuole essere uno stimolo per continuare a farlo, oltre che per il ringraziamento per quello che è stato fatto.
She wants to be, this lady represents someone who wants to give a stimulus to people to also follow, emulate her example.
Grazie.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Questa adesso qui.
She looks like she has
She
an
said this thing is
African
heavy.
origin.
Questo somiglia che questa ha un'origine africana.
Però sono 20 anni, 20 anni che
20 years they are giving this premium. She said it's very heavy. It's really heavy.
Lei viene dall'Africa.
It's a very nice sculpture.
She comes from Africa, he said.
Okay.
Quale parte dell'Africa?
Ethiopia.
She's from Ethiopia.
Okay.
Però leggiamo la motivazione che forse è bello.
Sì.
The motivation. Speriamo che sia in inglese.
Sua Eccellenza,
Your Excellency, Her Excellency, Honorable Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
in considerazione dell'impegno profuso in favore della solidarietà
of your work you are doing in the interest of the people
e della
in
pace
solidarity and peace,
e nella lotta contro la fame e la povertà,
in the struggle against hunger and famine,
per l'infaticabile e straordinario impegno
for your infatigability in your activities,
in favore della piena e concreta valorizzazione dell'universo femminile,
in favor of the women struggle,
nonché per aver saputo generare sempre e comunque comprensione tra i popoli.
And now, the Liberian leader arrives for a meeting with African ambassadors credited to Italy. Ambassador Dr. Mohammed Sharif opens the meeting.
President, distinguished ambassadors, extraordinary plenipotentiaries, Mr. Deputy Foreign Minister Elijah Shoni, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you here tonight on behalf of the President. We are here to receive our President in a family way, where all of you will feel comfortable to dialogue with her, to chat with her, to feel like she's your sister, your friend. So I will ask each of us here to just stand up and introduce yourself to Her Excellency, and upon which Her Excellency will address you.
And I'm Carla Mukabe, the Ambassador of the Republic of Mozambique, and also the permanent representative to the UN agencies in Rome.
Madam President, welcome afternoon. My name is Josephine Gaita, Kenya Ambassador to Italy and the permanent rep. We are so happy to see you this evening.
Bonsoir, Madame la Présidente. Je suis l'ambassadeur du Sénégal à Rome. Nous souhaitons la bienvenue ici et nous pensons que le dialogue aujourd'hui sera fructueux. Merci.
Good evening, Madam President. My name is Namatemba Tumbo. I'm the Ambassador of South Africa and permanent representative to the UN-based agencies, and it's an honor and a privilege to be in your company, ma'am.
Bonsoir Madame la Présidente, je suis Rosemonde Defon Yakoubou, ambassadeur du Bénin auprès de la République d'Italie et auprès des organisations des Nations Unies basées à Rome. Je vous souhaite la bienvenue et j'espère que les femmes, vous voyez que nous sommes beaucoup, il y a beaucoup de femmes ici et les femmes prendront exemple sur vous.
Good evening and welcome to Rome. We are proud of you, of your background and what we heard about good governance they are showing, especially being the first woman in Africa. I am the alternate representative of Eritrea to the year organizations in Rome. Thank you.
Hello, it's a great honor to be here this afternoon, Madam Ambassador, Madam President. I am Muhammad Al-Sheikh, Deputy Head Mission of Sudan Embassy. I would like also to convey the apology of my ambassador, Madam Ambassador, who is now in Bologna.
Good evening, Madam President. Welcome to Rome. My name is Fasa. I'm the Deputy Head of Mission of the Embassy of Ethiopia here in Rome. I also would like to apologize for the absence of my ambassador.
After serving introduction from the attendees of this meeting, the Liberian leader talks to the African ambassadors.
A big thanks to all of you. This is a Saturday afternoon. It's usually the afternoon when people go out with the family and enjoy the afternoon, go out of the city. But I want to thank you for taking the time to be able to join me in just a brief discussion. I would also like to thank those many of you who came out to greet me when I arrived at the airport. It was late in the night, but again, you made that big sacrifice to come out, and I want you to know I appreciate it. Please convey it to the doyen my special appreciation. He was out that evening. And thank all of you for the support that you've given to our ambassador. He has told me how he gets the full cooperation and support of all of you, and of course, all of you work together for common interests, the interests of Africa. And so for that, I commend you that you come together to be able to pursue that. As you know, there are a few interesting things that are going on in our continent. The African Union continues to be a very strong force. As its first leader also, the President of the Commission, Dr. Zuma, and the authority currently headed by the President of Mauritania, as you know, and really beginning to ensure that Africa's voice gets properly heard in the post-2015 agenda. I was part of the process as a co-chair of the high-level panel that was appointed by the UN Secretary General to put together the first ideas for the post-2015. That involved really engaging all African institutions, not only governments, but also private sector, academia, civil society, our regional commissions that were all largely involved in coming together to give us those ideas. It was a global effort because the other co-chairs was the Prime Minister of the UK and the President of Indonesia. And so all of that consultation took place globally that led to our report, which was presented to the Secretary General in May of last year. That process is now underway in New York under the guidance of the Secretary General and his team, what is called the Open Working Group, that is now doing that. They want to take our report as well as the report that came out of Rio on sustainable development, work on climate change to come together with a report that the Secretary General will be presenting to the General Assembly in September of this year. At the same time, there's another perhaps more important process that's ongoing, and that is Africa's own initiative in the form of the African Common Position. And on that, again, I was privileged to have been appointed by the authority at the meeting in Addis in January to be able to head a 10 heads of state committee, to look at the common position that was being formulated by our regional institutions, by the commission itself, by the commission that has to do with development. Those 5 were from West Africa. It was 2 from each. From West Africa was Guinea and Liberia. From South Africa, Mauritius and Namibia, is it? Namibia. From East Africa, Ethiopia, and Mauritius. What about this here?
North Africa.
North Africa, Mauritania, and Algeria. So we have taken what has been prepared and taken the African common position that was endorsed in a meeting we had in N'Djamena a couple of months ago. Essentially, the post-2015 agenda has 2 main themes that came out of the report of the high-level committee. One is the eradication of poverty. And we all know that poverty is multidimensional. So when you say poverty, you're talking about so many things. You're talking about education, you're talking about health, you're talking about employment, you're talking about structural transformation, you're talking about agriculture. So it's multidimensional. And so we will not just have poverty, even though it's an overarching theme, but under that theme will be many of the things, and many of the things that are already carried by the MDGs. Because we keep saying that quite a few of the goals of the MDG are still relevant today. And we'd like to see countries even push in this last year to be able to achieve as many of those MDG goals as possible. And to continue in those cases. The only new thing would be climate change, as part of the MOVE 2015, because it's a new dynamic in the world today that did not exist in the intensity in which it does today when the MDGs were formulated and agreed to in the year 2000. In our own African common position, there are 6 pillars. Structural economic transformation is the driving force. And that one says, essentially, for many of our countries, not all, Africa can no longer be the supplier of primary commodities. That we have to add value to our raw materials. We're rich in natural resources in many cases, but we've not been able to achieve our overall goal because we have not done this transformation. And so we've identified infrastructure as one of the major constraints to this transformation. That means things like our power systems, our road systems, our telecommunication systems. We have some of our countries quite advanced, South Africa being one, Kenya being another, a few, but we want to see all of Africa move in that direction, the interconnectivity to expand intra-Africa trade, which is at a very low level still, to be able to take common positions in that regard. And so that's number one. And of course, to do that, science, technology, and innovation. Some of our weaknesses for many of our countries are technology, science. And how do we make sure that we create those scientists that are going to innovate, be creative, that will be able to become those that pioneer certain things. The third one is people-centered development. People have to be the means and the end of development. At the end of the day, if you cannot improve the human condition and the human welfare is not enhanced, then development doesn't mean anything. And so people-centered development, environmental sustainability, and natural resources. Many of our countries are rich in natural resources. Sometimes it's managed well, sometimes not so well. And part of it is to make sure that we harmonize some of our laws, policies, strategies, that we begin to have common positions in how we partner with others that are outside of Africa, large corporate bodies, to make sure that we all move together. Peace and security. Clearly, whatever we do, if we do not have peace, everything becomes naught. Our own example in Liberia is a case in point where no matter what development we had until the time when the war came, all of that was destroyed. And we're trying again to rebuild and respond to all the needs. And then finally, and this runs into two things, a different kind of global partnership. Like the MDGs, where the thinking, the conception was, if Africa achieved these 7 goals, our partners then, or if Africa commit to these goals, our partners are going to put up the resources that will enable them to achieve those goals. Well, this new global partnership course says differently. It says there's mutual responsibility, mutual respect, that in fact, the new financing for development must be fair. If many of you follow the G8, where they talk about taxes, trade, and whatnot, it means that we want a fair deal in taxes from our natural resources. We want to be able to finance our own development on the basis of, our own resources. It doesn't say that official assistance, that will always be needed, but that official assistance must reflect our own priorities, must finance our own goals, and we must be a partner to that. And so those essentially are what the African Common Position is and how it fits into the agenda. All Africans, yourself, you play an important role where you are. As you meet some of your contacts from our partners institutions, your bilateral, your multilateral relations, would like to urge you to be a part of the appeal for being able to support African Common Position. We don't want the negotiations to end up watering down the African ideals. It's going to be a tough negotiation because there will be views of G77, there will be views of the Latin America group, there will be views of the Arab world, there will be views of our Western partners. And they will all have their own thinking as to what that agenda should be and how they can maintain their own status quo and their relationships. And so, but we believe that Africa is sufficiently strong in the international arena if we have one word. If they don't,
calling all the women, calling every single mother. Oba, woman, let us unite. Come, mamas, come and save your child. Baby Earth is reeling and wailing and needs your tender embrace. Mothers of the universe, Mother Nature's ties. Ooh, come save your child. Come save your child. I said, come sisters, come.